Hello Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another Historic Brawl gameplay video. So we played Mono Green Elves and the Golgari Elves in Foundation. So I've decided to continue that trend in Brawl. And I'm playing a Golgari Elf deck with Lathril, Blade of the Elves as our commander. Who is Lathril? Lathril is a 4-mana 2/3 with Menace. And it has whenever she deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 green elf creature tokens. And you can tap her and tap 10 untapped elves we control. And to basically drain each opponent for 10 life. So they lose 10, we gain 10. So what I think is interesting about Lathril is, so this is actually a reprint from a Commander set. This is literally made for Commander. But there is a difference between Commander and Brawl. And I think the changes in Brawl make Lathril nowhere near as good. So in Commander, you have three other players. There's 4 in total. So having a 4-mana 2/3 Menace isn't that big of a deal. In fact, it could work out in your favour because you're not going to be much of a threat until you start hitting in with her or building up your board. In Brawl, there's only other one person. So you play out your 4-mana 2/3. They play out their 5-mana 6/6 Kickball Monster or Eager Eater of All, and suddenly you're not in a position to attack. Or they play out a 1 and a 2 drop. And they can just easily block Lathril. So there is a weakness. She needs to hit your opponent to do what she needs to do. Also, that last mode, while in theory incredibly powerful, it just doesn't happen. Getting 10 elves is a big ask. In between 15 and 20 games, I did it once. Because the reality is, if you can hit in repeatedly to generate those elf tokens, you don't really need to be in a position to tap it. And a few games I could have done it, but our opponent scooped before we had the chance. So, but she is an elf commander, which means we can build a deck full of elves, and elves are usually pretty powerful, even if they are quite small. So, as I said, this is an elf deck. We have 41 creatures, 37 are elves. The only non-elves we have are Delighted Halfling, which is just a very, very good card in Brawl. And then Endrace Forerunners and Craterhoof Behemoth as our finishers, and then Adaptive Automaton, but it comes down, we choose elf, it becomes an elf and it buffs all our elves, so it is a honorary elf, but it doesn't count as an elf before we play it. So with elves, obviously we have a lot of ramp. So apart from Delighted Halfling, all these are elves. I did have Leafkin Druid in there for a bit, because I thought it was an elf, but it's not, it's an elemental, so I swapped that out and put in Overgrown Zealot, which is an elf, and taps to add 1 mana of any colour as well. So basically it does the same thing, we don't have any permanents to turn face up. And then we do have Marwyn's Kindred, which is an alchemy card that's not a creature, but we pay for an X and we conjure a card named Marwyn the Nurturer, and X cards named land or elves on the battlefield. So Marwyn the Nurturer we do have as well. It is a 3-mana 1/1, but says whenever another elf we control enters, put a counter on it, and then we add green. We can tap it at green equal to Marwyn's power. So if we Marwyn's Kindred for 6, for example, 4 then X equals 2, we get a Marwyn, we get 2 Llanowar Elves, that Marwyn buffs up to 3/3 and suddenly it taps to 3. So that's a pretty powerful ramp spell. Next up we have elf payoffs and elf lords. So Allosaurus Shepherd calls our green spells to be uncountable, which is really powerful. Then we can pay 6 till the end of turn. Each elf we control gets base power and toughness of 5/5, becomes a dinosaur. Warmaster generates a token when another elf enters the battlefield, and we can pay 7 to buff our elves and gives them death touch. Then we have a lot of elf lords: Clan Caller, Visionary, Imperious Perfect, Elvish Archdruid. We would have seen some of these in our Foundations deck. The aforementioned Adaptive Automaton buffs all our elves. Herald's Horn doesn't buff our elves, but it reduces the cost of our elves. And then at the beginning of our upkeep, we look at the top card of the library. If it's an elf card, we reveal it and put it into our hand. Patchwork Banner buffs them all and is a mana rock. Canopy Tactician is a big mana dork and a lord. Dionysus is an interesting one because I think there is a bit of a combo here, but I've not managed to put it off. So Dionysus, a 4-mana 3/3 that was just printed in Jumpstart. So elves we control have, whenever this creature becomes tapped during your turn, untapping and put a +1/+1 counter on it, this ability triggers only once each turn. So in theory, if we have 10 elves out and Dionysus could be one of the elves, and we tap them all with Lathril, they all become tapped in our turn. So they all become untapped, so we can all tap them again. We can do it once, so we can only drain our opponent for 20, but it'll be an interesting thing. I said I've not had an opportunity to do it. As I said, Lathril, I've only managed to get the ability to do once, but you know, maybe it is. If anyone's managed to get it done or has seen it done, leave a comment down below. Then we have joining Guiltlift Dean, Elf Lord, and it says whenever it attacks, we gain 1 life for each attacking elf we control. So we could attack with 5 elves, gain 5 life. List Alana Hunt Master is a really, really good one. It's interesting. It's only a common, but it's a 4 mana 3/3. Then when we cast an elf spell, we may create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. We're going to be casting a lot of elf spells, so we're going to be creating a lot of tokens, and we want a lot of elves. Tyvar the Bellicose is one of our many Tyvars. A 4 mana 5/4 says whenever one or more elves we control attack, they gain Death Touch till end of turn. And each creature we control has, whenever a mana ability of this creature resolves, put a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the amount of mana this creature produced. This ability triggers only once each turn. So in theory, you know, if we tap a Llanowar Elves for mana, it gets a counter on it. It doesn't untap, which is a bit annoying, but you know, if say our Marwin's a 4/4 and it taps, it gets 4+1/+1 counters, and then the next turn it taps 8, so pretty powerful. And then Disciple of Freyalise is just an elf, but when it enters, it's also a land. We can sacrifice another creature. If we do, gain X life and draw X cards, where X is that creature's power. Next up, we just have some other good elves. Skemfar Avenger. When another elf or berserker we control dies, we draw a card and lose a life. That's pretty good. Dwelling's Elite, we'd have seen in our Foundations video. When it enters, create another elf. If we control another elf, create another elf. Fauna Shaman, we can pay 1, discard it to discard a creature card to search the library for a creature card. So if we need another elf or one of our finishers. Gala Greeters, we've seen before on the channel. Ella Damri is from Modern Horizons 3. We may look at the top card of a library anytime and may cast creature spells on top of our library, so pretty good to rip through our deck, especially as almost half of our deck is creatures. And then we can pay 1 to tap it and tap 2 untapped creatures to control. Reveal the top card of a library if it's a creature we put it on the battlefield. And because we can see the top card of our library, we know if it's a creature or not. Tyvar, we've seen in Foundations. Abomination of Llanowar, interestingly, is also from a commander set and even has the commander set logo. 3 mana Star Vigilance Menace. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of elves we control and the number of elves in our graveyard. This is really powerful. Shaman of the Pack is a bit like Grey Merchant of Asphodel, but for elves, and we don't gain life. So it just target opponent loses life equal to the number of elves we control. And Beast Whisperer, whenever we cast a creature spell, draw a card. And next up, we have a couple of Tyvar Planeswalkers. Tyvar Jubilant Brawler, we have seen in Foundations, so we can do the combo of untapping and mana dorks, such as a Circle of Dreams Druid to produce a huge amount of mana. And then Tyvar Kel, I think it's the original Tyvar Planeswalker. It gives all elves we control tap to add black, so a great way to diversify mana and ramp if we have non-ramp elves on battlefield. And we can pay 0 to create a 1/1 green warrior creature token, +1 to put 2 +1/+1 counters on target elf, untap it. It gains Death Touch, so again a great way to produce huge amounts of mana by untapping mana dorks. And then -7, we get an emblem whenever you cast an elf spell. It gains haste, and then we draw 2 cards. That's quite hard to get to, but pretty powerful. Next up, removal. All the standard removal stuff, but we're in black-green, so we do have Assassin's Trophy and Abrupt Decay and Binding the Old Gods and Casualties of War. And then our aforementioned finishers, Endrace Forerunners, Craterhoof Behemoth, and Nissa Ascended Animus. And next up, just some good stuff. Heroic Intervention for Protection, Swiftfoot Boots, great thing to get haste onto Lathril. Guardian Project to draw cards when we play creatures. Primeval Bounty, 6 mana, really powerful. Whenever we cast a creature spell, create a 3/3 green beast creature token. Whenever we cast a non-creature spell, put a 3 +1/+1 counters on target creature we control. Then it has Landfall. Whenever a land we control enters, gain 3 life. And then Turn Timber Symbiosis, we've seen in videos before. Mana base is, as you would expect, a lot of dual lands. How powerful is it? It's a creature-based list. I have a over 6% win rate, although I do have more games on the play than the draw, which is unusual for this channel. You do have games where, yeah, your creatures get removed, but then we do have the ability to go wide, and we have so many lords we're going to be hitting in with quite a powerful board. And yeah, the very few times we do get to activate Lathril's ability, obviously, you know, that can put the game, or either win the game or put it beyond our opponent completely. So it's a fun deck. I think there are better elf commanders out there. I just think maybe Tyvar would probably be a better one, or one of the Tyvars. But yeah, it is great fun. When it works, it's really good. So I really enjoyed it. I hope you all really enjoy it too. If you do, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the gameplay. We go first with, well, a lot of ramp. can't Llanowar Tribes turn 2, unfortunately. But we can Leafkin Druid. And we can Surveil. Don't need more land. Or we can Llanowar Tribes. Oh no, we can't pay the ward. That's fine, we can take another hit, I think. We'll play this on black. And yeah, let's just do it now. They let it go to the graveyard, how they got reanimate. Well, let's play out Nissa. Should have done this the other way around. Yeah, that was a mistake. I should have played Beast Whisperer, then Nissa. They're going to gain a lot of life. Now we need a creature. That is a creature. Now we need to draw into more creatures. That is not, but we can at least take out Frodo. And then I'll hold back my 1/1. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9! So close! Well, now our Lathril can't attack. elf. Well, I don't think Leafkin Druid was an elf. I might be thinking there's a Leaf Glider one, I think. Two, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, this should be it. We can see the thing. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have done the thing. Up against Galter. So big green. We go first. With an okay hand. Not a chance to play with Primeval Bounty yet. So hopefully we do get that chance. See, I would like some more lands. So I play a Priest of Titania because it does include their elves. Well, we have to take that out. So yeah, 3, 4, 5. We can play Marwan and Incubation Druid. And we have a lot of mana next turn. We can Primeval Bounty and Lathril. Well, let's play the Bounty. And then that's one. Yeah, we can't quite play out Lathril. But I tap it just to get the counter. And I'll do that with Llanowar Elves. And obviously now it does produce 3. I would like removal for when Galter does come down. Fortunately, that's just a land. We do get 2 triggers from Primeval Bounty, though. Trying to think how to play this. Let's Surveil. Because next turn, Galter's coming down, basically. I don't think we have time for that. They're going to get Death Touch. The beast isn't. Here comes Galter. Oh, that's a problem as well. Buff our Marwyn. We may as well adapt. Oh, doesn't actually do anything because, yeah, you need counters. Yeah, so I can... Let's activate our abilities. And then let's just swing in. Nothing's got trample, but everything does have Death Touch. And yeah, they just end up taking it. Primeval Bounty, putting in some work there, creating the tokens. But yeah, Tyvar, the Bellicose with Mana Dorks, especially Marwyn, which, you know, and Pre-Titanium Marwyn that tap for multiple mana. And in fact, I should have tapped this one earlier. And yeah, so they're just going to scale massively. We go first, no ramp. We have ramp. Problem with Nissa, I think I think it's just going to get to the stage where if they play it, we lose. Choose elf, and then play out an elf. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5. So we can't play out much, but we will play out our Lathril. Would like a land. We create 3 2/2s. They can play Nissa out by completing it and create a token. Are they thinking about it, or have they run away? I think they run away. Yeah, I'd love a land so we can play Nissa, get the landfall trigger. Oh no, they are there. There's a land. And we'll play out the War Master. And yeah, opponent scoops it up because we're about to attack in and create 4 more elves, which I think would have meant next turn we could have done the thing. Because we had 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 12 with the 4 that Lathril was going to create. And yeah, but our opponent didn't let us see it. Up against Rao, so a Spellslinger Storm deck. The Bop Decay can't remove it, but we have a pretty decent hand. Would really like a Cavern of Souls. Well, that sucked. I really liked Cavern of Souls. That was an odd choice. So next turn, we can play Lathril, play Swiftfoot Boots, and attack. Unfortunately, Abrupt Decay is too expensive to... sorry, Mind Spice Apparatus is too expensive to Abrupt Decay. At least it's just to our hand. But, yeah. With the apparatus cooking, they just have unlimited mana, basically. Well, let's play Eladamri, see what's on top of our library, just the land. Now they have even more mana. We can take out the Dreamtide Whale though.
Together we can shift the current. I have a plan.
Oh, I didn't have to do that. Next turn we can take out the apparatus with Casualties of War. Hopefully they didn't draw a counter spell.
Think big.
Or hopefully they don't draw a counter spell here.
Aha! A solution!
Oh, we can play out Leafkin Druid. Don't know what's happening. A black man up. Artifact, creature, land, planeswalker. Artifact, creature, land, planeswalker.
This is an unexpected outcome.
Next turn we can Marwyn's Kindred and Lathril. I think 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10.
There's evidence here somewhere.
12, 14. Yeah, should be able to. Well, obviously Kindred for a decent amount, I mean. And yeah, our opponent scoops it up. We could play Lathril as well, equip the boots to it and attack in. And obviously they didn't create a otter, so their Quicksilver Lapidary wouldn't be able to block it. Up against a Traxxas, so a Proliferate deck may be a Planeswalker deck. We go first. Priest is okay. I think we play Disciple of Freyalise as a land. And play it untapped. Let's just shock in our tomb and play out our Priest of Titania. And then we can play Marwen next turn. And if we draw another 2-drop, we could play that as well. We just draw removal. So unfortunately I can't do this in a way to leave up removal. Play us on Elf. And yeah, we will just hold up our various removal. We have 15 power on the battlefield. That's quite a lot. Let's hope they don't have a board wipe. No, I don't want to tap all my lands. Oh, I was going to swing in. That is a bummer.
Let me show you. You are not much of a roadblock.
What do they do? We take out a Traxxar. Well, let's go face, create 4 elves, take out Wandering Emperor, play a Leafkin Druid, hold up Bit of Triumph, and yeah, we create 4 elves. We still don't have enough to activate Lathril's ability. Up against Breya, so an artifact based deck. We are on the play with a pretty good hand. A lot of ramp. We do need a untapped green source to play Llanowar Tribe on turn 2. doesn't really matter between Mystic and Llanowar Elves. I would quite like that green source. If not, I'll play Fel the Profane. Yeah, I think we play Fel the Profane. And actually we can play out Llanowar Lone Speaker as well. Question is, do they have Wash Away? Or another counter spell? They shopped in... Oh, fair enough. I'm going for one. So we have 6 mana, so we can Marwyn and Llanowar Tribe. If we draw a land, we can Marwyn and Bind in the Old Gods. Maybe get rid of a blocker. Or unless they Ether Spellbomb. They do have to use blue mana for it, and they only have 1 blue mana. Well, I think we do Binding then. Take out Breya. I'd really like to draw a land, although I don't think Lathril's getting killed. Yeah, we just have to bind in, unfortunately. Having Marwyn and Marwyn's Kindred is a bit weird. But at least next turn we can Marwyn's Kindred for 2. And because they Dark Ritual, they are quite away from being able to replay Breya. Well, we'll get Surveyor Land. Yes, please. And then we'll just get a forest. And we can... X equals 3, I think. And next turn we can... Oh, my Elven Archdruid would have been shuffled away. we can play out Lathril and the Llanowar tribes. Obviously, if they take up Marwyn, we do have Marwyn in hand, and yeah, our opponent scoops it up.